I'd share this live with you, but you're here. Just shows you how big my circle is. You know what I'm saying?
Not a bad thing.
It's not. That's why circles need to be small. So that way they can grow from a strong foundation and get bigger.
Yes.
You know, kind of like the blossoming of a flower, actually. If you think about it, because everything's fucking poetic. Like, if you look at it, you have a universal perspective, you realize that, like, everything knows itself, right? But also at the same time, there's an imprint of the universe in everything that is ever created.
Yes.
There's always like a sacred spiral, sacred geometry. There, you know what I'm saying? The universe lives as an imprint on everything in one way or another, whether it's porous, not, you know, and that's an interesting fact, because when you realize that those particles that make everything also make you, it gives you a different outlook and perspective on how to look at things, especially when you have that perspective and then you go to universal law and then you start understanding how consciousness flows, how it moves, how it works, the law of correspondence, cause and effect, duality, oneness, connection. Like, when you incorporate these understandings, it's not just an I know thing. You know what I'm saying? When you read them and you deeply connect with them and you understand, the world becomes a completely different fucking place.
Yes, it does.
You know what I'm saying? And I guess that's why we're here, is, you know, to get people to get on board to better understand themselves from that aspect.
Yes.
You know, because even in my experiences, I realized that as healing and healers, right, we tend to focus too much on the fucking problem and not solutions. And then you come to realize that the reason that is because you've been programmed or indoctrinated to focus on the problems, thinking that you're gonna find a fucking solution, not realizing that if you look in the mirror, you're gonna see the solution every fucking time.
That mirror.
You know what I'm saying? The mirror is nothing less than profound. It's one of the great inventions of the universe itself. You know what I'm saying? Is to be able to sit there and look at yourself with humble humility and not judge yourself, not have an opinion of how you fucking look. Because when you look in the mirror and then all these thoughts literally start coming up, you know what I'm saying? You realize that these are all subconscious behaviors that have been pre-programmed into your mind. And since you have that singular point focus of a reflection, you hear it all happening around you, but it's not inside of you. And I guess that's one of the beautiful perspectives that you have in a moment, is to be able to connect with that solace, knowing that these are just unconscious things that happen around me. And my awareness allows me to navigate these things, because now I can see them instead of swim in them.
Just keep.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
And then I'm going around the toilet bowl a couple times till you flush yourself out, you know, and realizing, oh, well, maybe, yeah, maybe I shouldn't have done that. Or maybe I should have done that before, you know, but also like incorporating that very understanding. It's like, well, everything is now, the laws of the universe, everything is now, past, future, present. What am I going to fucking do about it? Am I going to sulk in it? You know what I'm saying? Or I'm going to do something about it right here, right now, because this is the point of realization. This is the point of determination. This is the point of action, right? And here we are at the third quarter moon, and the third quarter moon represents recalibration, right? Rethinking things, but not overthinking things, coming from a more balanced perspective and being less chaotic with our thoughts, because our thoughts are not ours, right? The energy's just obviously agitated in one way or another, and we can feel that collective agitation. Therefore, we respond accordingly, depending on our survival mechanisms. You know what I'm saying? And we just act those fucking things out until we become more aware that the fact that we're cyclically spiraling in this pattern, not allowing us to grow more, see more, or make a change and go in a different direction.
Yep.
Right? And that's been the theme for the last couple weeks, you know, to where personal growth and attention has been very important. And it's not like today isn't one of those, because up until the new moon, we're all going to be going through it in one way or another. We're going to have our own personal discoveries. We're going to have our own personal affection as well, because we understand that, like, literally a lot of us don't show the love of God, that basically the love that we have been shown to us. You know what I'm saying? Naturally. In the essence of who we are, not what we believe love to be, but what love actually is, and reconnecting with that. You know what I'm saying? So there's a point here, is what Spirit just said. You know, to all this, because this is about reconnecting with that moment, reconnecting with yourself, whether you're looking in the mirror, whether you're acting it out, whether you're doing something, whether you're responding accordingly. You know, it doesn't matter. We're in an energy of penance, you know, penitence, where we're patient and we're humble about the things that we realize or we see about other people, and not carry that disdain or that distemperament or that lack of emotion because we don't want to feel things. You know what I'm saying? We as people are being given an opportunity and deep discernment and deep, it doesn't even have to be deep reflection, because the deep discernment gives you the deeper awareness to things. And you don't necessarily have to become so emotionally involved with shit and getting stuck in that fucking pattern where it's like it's a grind, where I gotta dig myself out or I gotta shovel my way through shit to get there. And it's like, no, you can actually have a more positive attitude with the clarity that's being given right now with Gemini energy. You know what I'm saying? And allow this clarity to come through, especially with Pluto and Aquarius, giving all those things an opportunity to flourish and grow in a different way, to learn more, to suffer less, right? Giving ourselves the opportunity to show ourselves more grace is what this energy is all about. But it comes with deep discernment, it comes with acknowledgement, it comes with acceptance, then it comes with embodying the truth that you realize. So like we go on these 3-day patterns cyclically, you know, not realizing not only that the universe is in everything, but we go through these cyclical patterns only to learn and grow from them, and not just assume that we're going to work at Walmart for the rest of our fucking lives, or this is the way that it's going to be, and actually have some fucking ambition for a change, because we're not robots and we're not plugged into a robotic system anymore. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of people are having a hard time ripping themselves away from that machine or that matrix or that fucking habit that has been there the whole time. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the beauty of this message, is that, you know what I'm saying? Like, bro, we don't have to be these robots or these mechanical beings, and we don't have to suffer in or swim in these survival mechanisms anymore. We don't, right? And that's what sovereignty and learning what it is to be sovereign and connecting with the divine is all about, dude, because it's not supposed to be this way. People are actually fucking right. But if they don't do the work, or it'll utilize deep discernment, they're never going to figure out that they were right in the first place, that it shouldn't be this way. And it's right. Now we get to take the reins and the horns in our lives and actually start dictating what it is that we're going to create from a more powerful, strong perspective of awareness, clarity, and discipline, right? You know what I'm saying? Because everybody wants the golden ticket, but they don't realize they're the one who's sewing the fibers together to make it happen and give it the fine print. Right?
Yes.
And here we are, the alchemization of energy, the magician that just keeps on coming out, bro. You know what I'm saying? I didn't even have to pull a fucking card. All right? This is the beauty of this. But guess what? This is also the Ace of Wands. Passionate new beginnings, right? With all the realizations and the collective message that you all heard, because I was just simply talking to a friend, and this is how it comes out. This is how we're happening. This is how it's happening today. You know what I'm saying? Because this is real shit. You know, this is authenticity and what it actually looks like in this form. You know, which we all should have the courage and bravery to engage in it as well. Because everybody that's in here is special too. You know, unique by you. You know what I'm saying? Like, literally, we're all looking for a way. We're all looking for a path. We're all looking for a doorway. We're all trying to close and shut things that no longer need to be there and be done with them, right? So we can master ourselves and be gone, or whatever it is, whatever goal that you have, you know, while you're here in this beautiful life or this place that we call home right now, and understand that there's a deeper message going on now. It's not just about, oh yeah, well, I got to get my money up and I got to do this and I got to do that. No, you got to do that. So chop wood, carry water simultaneously while you were receiving enlightenment and discipline in that enlightenment, right? And then, you know, you can almost sense that if you didn't get on board, then this is the collective agitation that you're feeling around you. It's the people that didn't. Because now the vibrations are different. The frequencies are different. You're up here. They're over here. You know what I'm saying? They're way out there. So that's your indifference, is what Spirit just said. This is the indifference or the energetic dissonance that is outside of yourself that we were talking about in the collective message earlier, where you realize that when you're in that reflection space, all the noise is outside of you and you can hear it. And if you gave yourself the time to do it long enough, you'd realize that what you're hearing is love, it's discipline, it's action, it's guidance, whichever way it's coming in for you. But it's all from a beautiful place, because nobody wants to see you where you're at if you want to get out of where you're at. You know what I'm saying? I can assure you that, divine guidance is real, spirits are true, and so are you, because you're a spirit too. We've been saying this for a long time in many different ways to help people learn how to reprogram their mind into a more malleable, adaptable aspect of what the universe is asking us for now. We're supposed to adapt. We're supposed to change. We're supposed to engage in more passionate endeavors because we are love itself expressing itself. You know what I'm saying? Look around you and ask yourself what is so loving about what is happening or what you're doing or what you're motivating or what you're inspiring. And those things will come to you naturally as long as you're willing to wait and listen and humbly pay attention to what you're being shown. Salam. So that was a beautiful collective message today, fam, and we didn't even get started. I got cards out here, and we were talking about new passionate beginnings, right? For those who realize how important and how much this really matters, especially in their own personal lives. You know what I'm saying? This benefits not only the individual, but the family and the community that is associated with the individual. You heal one, you heal 100, right? And part of our mission, part of what we do, part of these gifts and this intuitive ability is understanding that these gifts are meant to be shared. They're not meant to be hoarded. And I think that's the overall lesson here for some. You know what I'm saying? They're intuitive gifts, or they want to be a healer, or we're making choices to be more practical, or possibly engaging in entrepreneurship, some type of spiritual aspect of ourselves. It could be something that we passionately, wholeheartedly want to do. You know what I'm saying? And these things are those passionate endeavors that show you where you're really at in your physical structure or your physical life, to show you the distance between what it is that you want to do and are you willing to take the path to get there, right? You know what I'm saying? Because I hear victory space, when it comes to these things, and it's about our wholehearted intentions. So if we really want to change things, now's the time to kind of like plan ahead and enact this energy, because in the next couple days, you're going to receive wisdom. There will be clarity. There will be newfound realizations that are happening for everyone in one way or another. Again, our experiences are unique to themselves, fam. So don't have an expectation of what you're going to figure out, what might show up on your doorstep, what you're going to realize from a past space, because all these things are happening simultaneously. You know what I'm saying? And it could be different for everyone. And that's what everybody's saying, bro. And the chariot, it's hot and heavy, fam. This shit is coming in, We should be more aware of, and we're grateful of the fact that we receive these blessings and we have every day. You know what I'm saying? That we have and that we are having. The fact that we are blessed and we are receiving blessings because we are receiving these messages, that is confirming the fact that these things are happening. And here we are. It's like a baby adventure is what Spirit is saying, into what success looks like, into being more positive or being more inspired, being more fruitful, engaging in a place that is not a dream anymore, that you can make this dream a reality is what they're saying here. You know what I'm saying? And when you receive comfort or the knowing that you can make a dream a reality, or somebody tells you that you could do something, or somebody lets you know and gives you a heads up that, hey, this is going to happen for the greatest, highest good, and it will be your positive and best outcome, right? But what that looks like, you can't expect it to look like anything until you actually start creating it with your mind. You know what I'm saying? And that's how motivators motivate, is what Spirit just said. So if that's something, if you're into that type of stuff, or the motivation is clear. You know what I'm saying? You get what you want at the end of the tunnel, but you must face your own darkness to get there. You know what I'm saying? So, and what they mean by darkness is if you're going through some shadow shit, if you're doing shadow work, if you're having a problem healing things, or, things are just too much of an emotional burden, or you have trauma, these things will try to keep you in the same place that helped you, that made you realize that you were there. You know what I'm saying? And you're asking for help now, or you're looking for insight and you're trying to figure things out. If that's you, understand that first you got to fill your own cup, and the cup is always full, and you can't necessarily trust anybody else to fill your cup right now if you're in this emotional space, you know, detriment, deception, distrust, you know what I'm saying? You have a hard time believing shit, or you just get distracted from everything that fucking is good for you. You know what I'm saying? It could go either way is what Spirit is saying. So if you have a problem between the light and the shadow within yourself, possibly even ego, conflict, you know, these things are happening, you know, you can reach out to us, and you know, we have soul counsel, we have energy healing, we can bring you into alignment, you know, energetically, so that way you could utilize the clarity and the discernment and the healing to make active change in your life. You know what I'm saying? This is how healers heal, but we have to understand that even the healed have a responsibility to themselves to maintain that healing, because the universe is going to test to see if you want it back, and if you want the old back or not, you know? And that's just the law of cause and effect, fam. You know what I'm saying? It's like a promise to yourself that you realize that sometimes when you intend to do something and you move forward and then you receive a bunch of shit for it, you're just being challenged to see how bad it is that you want it, and how much you're dedicated to believing that this can happen, and it's real and it's true to you. You know, and it happens time and time again. And it doesn't matter where you're at in life, the universe consistently does it over and over again. So you get a message, or you get clear on what's happening. You know, the law of attraction is real. But the law of cause and effect comes with every breath that we take, you know? So don't be hard on yourself is what I'm hearing here with this message. Things are only going to get better from here, but they're also going to intensify. This new moon and this lunar cycle that's coming up. You know, they're telling me Aquarius energy, which of course Pluto is there, is going to trigger that factor, that clarity. You know what I'm saying? That come up, or that realization that's happening this week, you know? And then it's going to lead into the next one, where we receive even more clarity and make more adjustments as to what it is that we want from life and what to expect from ourselves to get there. You know, this is about long-term planning, fam. We got a couple years to go. We got a couple years, a couple decades more is what Spirit said, you know, to get your life in order and where you want to be, you know, and the speed of that reality is entirely on your willingness to engage in it. You know what I'm saying? But if you want to be a pessimistic asshole is what they want to say about the future, then you're never going to have one, because you're always pessimistic about it. You know, so long-term goals, understand that we're already receiving it. You know, that's the blessing, you know. It's like, hey, eternal life. Hey, you know what I'm saying? You're blessed by God. You're here to do things. You're here to have fun. You're here to be happy. You're here to bring alignment and spread joy and love, not fear, you know, because we are the anti of whatever's going on here is what Spirit just said. You know, let's get on board with that very fact, and let's not con ourselves into thinking anything else. We don't necessarily have to be. We're warriors. That is what we are. You know what I'm saying? And you're fighting for yourself simultaneously while you're fighting for everybody else, because everybody's also you. And we're all a collective crew, is what Spirit just said. You know? So, you know, when it comes to unity, when it comes to harmony, and when it comes to balance, all right, these things should be of the utmost importance to us, because we can't really make a good decision without it. And I'm being honest. You know what I'm saying? I can't say anything more on that aspect. You know, Mercury and communication, we're in the last quarter moon, so don't be surprised if you will be receiving communication, clarity. You know what I'm saying? I got the got the wheel here. Turn things in your favor is what I hear. You know what I'm saying? With this message, with this energy. See how it enacts in your life. Fucking literally dictated. That, you know what I'm saying? Dominated. Like literally you write these things down, or have remembrances that these things are happening simultaneously all at once, but they're happening today. They're happening now today. And you have the ability to navigate this clarity and be able to receive the blessings that have been bestowed upon thee with this message, with this collective energy that you're also receiving. You know what I'm saying? The proof is in the pudding, but the proof is also in the work, right? So we have to commit to these things. So you can actually change everything today, like literally by making a decision to follow the astrology or the energetic wave that we're talking about here, and have the confirmations in your life. Write them down, or come back on a live and tell me how that resonated with you. You know what I'm saying? How do these things, how did this work in your life? What is your perspective? Because you're important too. You know what I'm saying? Otherwise we wouldn't be here doing this, you know? So I think that a lot of us just need to understand that there's a self-importance that we're truly unaware of, you know? And then there's a dictating factor where we like to dictate realities for ourselves, or we like to have other people dictate realities for ourselves when we create our own, right? So with that being said, I believe I've said enough for now. You know what I'm saying? So I hope you enjoyed this collective message today and the spiritual insight and guidance that you may or may not have gathered from it or will gather from it, you know, by listening to this message. So thank you all for being here, and thank you for being you. I'm going to get up out of here, fam. Much love to each and every one of you. Have a beautiful and blessed